We go now to the White House briefing room and President Trump's senior policy advisor, Stephen Miller. Mr. Miller, I want to start with this North Korean test overnight. In 2013, Mr. Trump tweeted, "Where is the president? It is time for him to come on TV and show strength against the repeated threats from North Korea." Now that he's president, President Trump made a statement last night supporting Japan, standing behind Japan, but didn't mention North Korea. What in his statement is going to make North Korea step back from their course of action?
Good to be with you this morning, John, and thank you for having me here today. So you saw the president following through on exactly what he said he would do. He went out last night in front of the TV cameras and stood shoulder to shoulder with the Prime Minister of Japan and sent a message to the whole world that we stand with our allies. But we're going to be sending another signal very soon, and that signal is when we begin a great rebuilding of the armed forces of the United States. President Trump campaigned on this. President Trump has led the effort on this, and President Trump is going to go to Congress and ask them to invest in our military. So once again, we will have unquestioned military strength beyond anything anybody can imagine.
But that's going to take a little time. So no other show of strength in terms of North Korea.
That show last night was a show of strength, saying that we stand with our ally. Having the two men appear on camera worldwide to all of planet Earth was a statement that will be understood very well by North Korea.
Let's move on to the president's executive order on immigration. The president has said both see you in court and also suggested there might be a new executive order. Which way is he going?
It's a great topic because there are so many things we can do. For one thing, we can take the case to the Supreme Court on the emergency stay. We can go back to the district court and we can have a hearing on the merits. We can go to the bank to have it heard en banc, or if we want to, we can also continue the appeal with the panel. Additionally, we're considering new and further executive actions that will enhance the security posture of the United States. I don't have any news today to make on it, but I think the point, John, is that the president has enormous powers, both delegated to him by Congress and under the Constitution, his Article 2 foreign affairs powers, to control the entry of aliens into our country, and he's going to use that authority to keep us safe.
Okay, we'll wait for news on that. When I talk to Republicans on the Hill, they wonder, what is the White House? What have you all learned from this experience with the executive order?
Well, I think that it's been an important reminder to all Americans that we have a judiciary that has taken far too much power and become, in many cases, a supreme branch of government. One unelected judge in Seattle cannot remake laws for the entire country. I mean, this is just crazy, John. The idea that you're going to have a judge in Seattle say that a foreign national living in Libya has an effective right to enter the United States is beyond anything we've ever seen before. The end result of this, though, is that our opponents, the media, and the whole world will soon see, as we begin to take further actions, that the powers of the president to protect our country are very substantial and will not be questioned.
Well, I guess let me step back. The question, as I talk to Republicans on the Hill, is what you're learning inside the White House about the way you do things. It's been pretty busy up there. Just stepping back, do you feel like you and your staff there, that you're in control of events at the White House?
I think to say that we're in control would be a substantial understatement. The President of the United States has accomplished more in just a few weeks than many presidents accomplish in an entire administration. You've seen, for instance, profound regulatory reform. For every one new regulation, two must go. You've seen ethics reform to drain the swamp. You've seen efforts to bring back jobs with Intel and Ford and General Motors. You've seen action taken with an executive order to go after criminal cartels that have plagued our cities for years with no effective response. On issue after issue, we're taking forceful action to deliver on the president's campaign promises on a breathtaking scale.
One of the promises the president made recently on January 15th was about Obamacare. He said it's very much formulated down to the final strokes. We haven't put it in quite yet, but we're going to be doing it soon. That was almost a month ago. So when will we see his replacement for Obamacare?
Well, we're very far along on this, farther than many people realize. But the president, as he has said many times, you don't always want to show all of your cards. Obviously, we're dealing with a situation where you have some people in the other party that are being obstructionists for its own sake, slowing down cabinet nominees that will inevitably be confirmed for no particular reason, even if it means jeopardizing national security or public safety. But we have a plan that we're putting into motion now. Some elements of it you're already familiar with. We campaigned on, talking about things like health savings accounts And we look forward to presenting more details to the American public very soon.
Let me ask you about immigration raids that have taken place to bring in people who've broken the law and criminals. Also, in those raids, there's been some people whose only breaking of the law is being here illegally. When the president was asked about this recently in an interview, he said about those who are here illegally, and that's the only law they've broken, they shouldn't be very worried. I do have a big heart. We're going to take care of everybody. Where you have great people here that have done a good job, they should feel far less worried. That was in an interview with ABC. So should people feel less worried still?
Well, is there a specific case that you're referring to?
No, I just mean in general. The president said that people should feel less worried.
I mean that when you're talking about particular deportation cases that you feel...
well, there's been an uptick in activity, and
right,
so...
because the cases that I'm familiar with, the reason why I asked that, have to do with removing criminal aliens, individuals who have criminal charges or convictions against them. And that's what's been taking place all across the country. And the effect of that is going to be saving many American lives, American property, and American safety.
But in terms of but they should, people who have not committed any crime other than being here illegally should still feel less worried. That still is in operation.
Look, it's not for me to tell people how to feel or how not to feel. We're in the process of removing criminal aliens from this country and enforcing our immigration laws and keeping the public safe. And the bottom line is this. In the calculation between open borders and saving American lives, it is the easiest choice we will ever have to make.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. Stephen Miller, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back.